Cats hit the Oregon Trail once again as Sam Houston men's basketball head up to the Pacific Northwest in Corvallis, Oregon to take on the Oregon State Beavers. I'm Colin Neal here for Sam Houston Sports Talk to get you ready for this interesting matchup that we have on our hands this evening up in Corvallis, Oregon. Last time out, though, let's get you caught up. Coach Mudge and his squad, they had to battle it out in the Bayou City against the Texas Southern Tigers in a physical match that saw 47 fouls combined between both sides. It was a tough game mentally, physically. The Cats dealt with a lot of foul trouble, especially with Velko Elish not seeing a lot of time due to having so much foul trouble. I mean, even TSU got within 4 points, the 4-point deficit with 3:35 left to go, but Sam Houston did go on a 10-4 run to finish it off and end up winning the contest 82-70. Here is head coach Chris Mudge on the game and the finish at the end.
For sure. You know, we talk about not letting outside things control what we do. And we were doing a lot of things to facilitate Texas Southern's run. And we just talk about next play, and being able to make the play that reverses the run. And at a point in the game, we finally did those things. We finally, stopped fouling. We got more disciplined. We made some solid plays on offense with some paint touches. And I don't think this team gets rattled. I think that that's something that we've been harping on for a long time. But I think this team has really bought into understanding that it's a 40-plus minute game. And so because we have a real competitive group and they really like to hoop. And so they've been in a lot of these games in their lives. A lot of the guys on our team have played for elite programs growing up, which I think has facilitated us figuring out winning faster. And so they also understand that it's a game of runs. And so there was definitely a time where Texas Southern was going on a big run because they're a very good team. And I was interested to see if we were going to be able to stop the bleeding at some point. And we did. We locked in and made the disciplined plays on both sides that we needed to. And we're going to need that because I continue to tell our guys all of the non-conference games that we played have been close with 2 to 4 minutes left, 1 minute left, and that's Conference USA games. There will be every single game we play in will be that type of situation one way or another. And so hopefully it's helping us be able to navigate those well, be able to understand how to finish and what types of winning plays matter. So it's been good to see our growth because I do think in a couple of our early games we had some panic stretches, and we didn't do that in that game.
Cashy Nat led the way with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. Speaking of Nat, by the way, if you haven't already, be sure you check out my video that I made on the Louisianimal discussing his impact and what he brings to the Bearcats this season. The transfer from LSU, Alexandria. King and Walker both had 13 points. Manning had 10. Jackson Ford with an impressive performance with 8 points and 7 rebounds. He had to play a lot more than probably usually he would, take on a much more bigger role, especially in this game with Elish dealing with a lot of foul trouble. And hey, you know what? Ford, in my mind, is one of the biggest factors for Sam Houston this season if they want to be successful. Here is Coach Mudge on Jackson Ford.
Man, he's gotten so much better because he works at it, and he just plays with such a motor. He plays so hard. And he brings such a different dynamic than V and Matt for us, which is really positive because he can really move. He is great finishing around the basket. He brings just a different energy, which has really helped us. And he's always played really hard, but now he's doing it a little better within the flow of the game, being able to read things and make the right play on both sides of the floor to add to his ability to go rebound the basketball, his ability to just make things happen all the time. So it's been fun. He just looks more comfortable than he did last year, and part of that is just normal growth, normal maturity, and it's been fun to see him. He's given us some big sparks when he's come in the game and really helping our team.
Sam Houston sits now at 6-3. They've won 5 of their last 6, and they'll face off against Oregon State for the first time ever. The Beavers are coming off of a win against Montana State in Corvallis. They're now up to 6-5. That win for them 67-57 over the Bobcats. If this was football, that'd be pretty impressive. But this is men's basketball, of course. Shout out Montana State for making it to the FCS semifinals. Here is Coach Mudge on the Beaver squad, led by head coach Wayne Tinkle, who is heading into his 12th season at the helm in Corvallis.
Gosh, they're a really good team. Their record, they've had a bunch of injuries and some sickness and things, so their record is not indicative of how good they are. Have great positional size. They are huge, and a bunch of guards who can really shoot, and their bigs put a lot of pressure on you around the rim and even on the perimeter, blocking shots at the basket. They have a pretty well-rounded team. Obviously, Coach Tinkle does a phenomenal job taking a team to an Elite Eight and won a ton of games as a coach. It's going to be a good test for us because they're kind of the opposite of us in terms of they play with pace. They are really good at executing in the half court in their sets. They play with great length and size and really clog up lanes on the defensive side of the ball, and they're really good in their zone and man and mixing it up. So we're going to have to really make our style the more prevalent one. And that's what we talk about. I'm not trying to be coachy, or I think I've said it before on one of these, but with our guys, we talk about that. Each team is bringing their own unique style, and whichever one is able to implement it in a disciplined way for longer is going to win the basketball game. And so it's going to be a great test for us. They have size. They're very skilled, very smart. It'll be another one of our really tough road games, and it's going to continue to help us be ready for the start of Conference USA, where we obviously play New Mexico State in a road game. And then I think our first two after the break are at Western and at Middle. And so we will be ready to play on the road because we played some really good teams on the road this year. And so I'm excited for it. It's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to play well. We're going to have to just continue to get better. If we can start implementing and building on the things that are our focus right now, knowing how we have to go long term, then I think we got a chance.
And you can hear Coach Mudge mention size. Well, when I looked on Ken Palm with average height, and that is crazy that they track that, but I expect nothing less from Ken Pomeroy to have something like that on his analytics website. Sam Houston in average height across Division I basketball is 311th, 311. Oregon State is 28th. Now, the bigs that are on that squad, they don't typically play a lot. You don't get too sidetracked with the bigs tonight. Keep an eye on their guards. I mean, their two guards are leading in them at scoring. You have Josiah Lake II with 12.2 points per game and Des White with 10.9. Lake also ties the team as a leading rebounder with 5.1 per game. He's kind of like their own little Nat in a way. I imagine that we're going to see him and Nat go at it quite a bit this evening up in the Pacific Northwest. And the Cats also have some familiar faces. Noah Amenhauser, who was at GCU, Jorge Diaz-Graham, who was at Pitt, and there's Yak Yak, who the Cats saw again when they would face off against New Mexico State. One thing the Cats, though, cannot do in this contest is get into foul trouble early. The Bearcats are amongst the worst teams in the country when it comes to allowing free throw attempts. They really need to get that under control, be disciplined, as Mudge always talked about. I mean, especially last time when I mentioned earlier, you had Velko Ilic dealing with a lot of foul trouble, and you need Ilic out there on the floor. You need that experienced big out on the floor. I mean, you saw what he could do against Texas Southern. Like he's not if he can't score, he's gonna dish it out. He tied a career high in 4 assists last time out against the Tigers. I mean, but Sam Houston got away with it in that game against Texas Southern. But you're not gonna always get away with it. Probably hardly again, because the road gets the road's gonna get tougher, especially heading into conference season. Ken Palm actually predicts Sam Houston to be in a lot of 50-50 games. 51-49, 49-51. There's going to be a lot of close games potentially heading down into conference play. But discipline is what Mudge has been preaching this whole season. They need to have it in this one so they can bring it with them to Las Cruces on Sunday when they begin Conference USA play against Jason Hooten and New Mexico State. And one more thing I wanted to know, I realized I forgot to include this one in when I was originally recording this. Mudge mentioned in that last press conference clip about the the difference in like style play. Well, if you wanted like a good idea, according to Ken Palm, Sam Houston is 64th in the country in adjusted tempo. So they really like to go, they like to run and all that good stuff. Whereas Oregon State, they are 334th in the country. Basically, bottom of the barrel. They are a slow team. They want to take their time, run their sets. So that might be something to keep an eye on in this game. If you like what you watch, if you want some more Bearcat sports content, it's available on our YouTube page. Podcasts coming out on a weekly basis is also available on Spotify. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms as well: X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that great stuff. From SamHoustonSports.com, Colin Neal saying so long for now. And as always, guys, you Cats, let's see what this Sam Houston Bearcats can do up in Corvallis, Oregon this evening.